They laughed when I walked in. Not all of them, just enough. A ripple of chuckles, raised eyebrows, and sideways looks spread through the room like gasoline, waiting for a spark. I stood at the entrance of the marble-floored lobby, the gold logo of her company gleaming behind the reception desk. Someone shoved a glass of champagne into my hand. I didn't take it. Then came the punchline. There he is, our one-minute man. The laughter was louder this time. Someone from marketing nearly choked on their drink. And then, like clockwork, he appeared. The man who used to work in my accounting department before she promoted him to creative director. Tan, smug, the kind of guy who thought cologne could replace character. He didn't even look at me when he spoke. Get this impotent man out of here. Security. I didn't flinch. I looked at her. My wife. Her champagne glass frozen mid-sip, her face painted with guilt, trying to hide behind a smirk. I memorized it, the shape of her lips when she didn't expect me to show up, the way she couldn't meet my eyes. I left without saying a word. And that was the last thing anyone ever took from me without bleeding for it. It wasn't always like this. I met Sophia in the rundown lobby of an old startup I invested in 10 years ago. She was fresh out of grad school, sharp-witted, sharper-tongued, with a way of making you feel like she saw straight through you and liked what she found. I was building my second company. She brought color into my grayscale world. We built everything together. Trips across the globe, candlelit dinners over spreadsheets. When we got married, I gave her 30% of my company's shares. She called it the trust that sealed the deal. She said she wasn't after money, she wanted to build something with me. I believed her. She said I worked too much, that I was always tired, that I was drifting. Maybe I was. But she never mentioned the late-night meetings, the calls that ended too quickly, the lipstick stains on cufflinks that weren't mine. I never accused her. I watched. The first clue was subtle. She changed her phone password. She used to hand me her phone without hesitation. Then came the locked drawers in her home office. Trips labeled wellness retreats, but booked through the company. I didn't confront her. I studied. One night, while she slept in the guest room after a fake headache, I mirrored her phone to mine. Every photo. Every message. Her pet names for him, his for her. Photos in my car, on my boat, in the bed I paid for. My chest went numb, but my mind stayed clear. I spent the next 6 months preparing in silence. I transferred ownership of all joint assets into separate holding entities. Froze upcoming payments on the new company credit cards. She didn't notice, too busy playing queen. I renegotiated supplier deals under my name alone. Her new office. I owned the land. I signed the rights over to a shell company and tripled the rent. I rewrote the will. Created exit clauses. Scheduled meetings with my lawyers on holidays. Paid private investigators in cash. Even the prenup, ironclad, with infidelity clauses. She never read the fine print. Said it felt unromantic. Romance died the day she laughed with him. So I walked out of that party with nothing but silence in my pocket and pulled every string I'd spent a decade tying. First, I froze the business accounts she used for events, advertising, and travel, the same ones funding her parties, influencers, and spa deals. I canceled the Bali strategic retreat mid-flight. 20 executives stranded with non-refundable bookings, her name, not mine, on every reservation. Then I called an emergency board meeting. I was the majority shareholder, 70%, to be exact. The moment I pulled my equity stake, $97 million evaporated from the balance sheet. Vendors panicked. Contracts defaulted. Creditors called. Partnerships dissolved overnight. She walked into her office the next morning to screaming staff, blacked out screens, and locked doors. That's when the calls started. 56 missed calls in under an hour, from her, from him, from mutual friends who had laughed the night before. I didn't answer. Then came the knock. It was raining. She stood outside my penthouse in heels too high for balance and a dress too soaked for dignity. Hair plastered to her face, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Not the image of power she once projected, just a woman realizing the ground beneath her had always been paper-thin. "Why?" she asked, her voice breaking. I stepped aside and let her into the warmth, not out of kindness, but control. She looked around. Everything perfectly curated. Our old life untouched. Photos on the walls. The scent of vanilla and sandalwood, familiar, haunting. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone," she whispered. I turned to her slowly. "You betrayed me in front of no one. I just corrected the imbalance." She collapsed onto the couch. Said she never meant to hurt me. Said it just happened. Said it wasn't about love. Said she thought I didn't care anymore. I let her talk. Then I handed her the envelope. Inside were the divorce papers, notarized. A complete record of her affair. Financial discrepancies. Photos. Emails. Hotel receipts. Her signature already affixed, approved under pre-authorized legal delegation. It had been over before she rang the doorbell. Her lover was fired the same day. He posted a sad story online, claimed he was framed. She tried to salvage what remained, but the scandal spread like wildfire. Investors pulled out. Her name trended, but not for success. Just scandal, betrayal, and the spectacular collapse of a woman who thought herself untouchable. I didn't post anything. Didn't gloat. Didn't explain. I rebuilt quietly. Cleanly. They say revenge is best served cold. I prefer mine like steel, sharp, silent, and surgical. The kind you never see coming until it's already inside you. Sometimes I pass the old building where her logo once shone. It's vacant now, listed for lease. Her name stripped from the facade like it never existed. And me? I sleep well. Alone, but whole. Never again the punchline.